"Daddy, why is she sleeping here?" The little girl's soft, innocent voice broke the silence of the chilly evening. They had just stepped out of a restaurant where warmth, laughter, and golden lights spilled out onto the sidewalk. The millionaire single dad, Daniel Hart, paused mid-step as his daughter tugged on his hand, her wide brown eyes fixed on a fragile figure curled up on the cold stone bench. A girl, no older than his daughter's nanny, was shivering beneath a torn jacket, her arms wrapped tightly around herself as though holding on to the last ounce of strength she had left. Her face was pale, almost ghostly, but what struck him most was the quiet stillness about her, the kind that comes from exhaustion beyond measure. For a moment, Daniel wanted to pull his daughter along, shielding her from the ugly reality of the world. But something in the girl's stillness and the pleading tone of his daughter's voice rooted him to the ground. "Why is she here, Daddy? Doesn't she have a bed?" The question pierced deeper than he cared to admit. Daniel, CEO of one of the city's largest firms, a man who owned mansions and vacation homes, suddenly felt small standing in front of his daughter and a girl who had nothing. "Sweetheart," he began softly, "sometimes people lose their way. Maybe she doesn't have a home right now." His daughter frowned, her little brows scrunching together, and with a child's bravery, she stepped forward. "Then we can help her. Please, Daddy." And just like that, a choice Daniel had been avoiding all his life stared him in the face. He had built walls around himself after losing his wife, choosing to bury himself in work rather than in messy human connections. But his daughter's compassion was stronger than his fear. He walked forward, gently shook the girl's shoulder, and when she startled awake, eyes filled with both fear and shame, he heard himself say, "Come with us. You don't belong out here in the cold." Her name was Emily. A young woman who had once dreamed of becoming a teacher but had her world collapse when her mother fell ill and debts consumed everything. She had been working 2 jobs until one was cut, and soon, her apartment was gone too. She had nowhere to go, and pride kept her from begging. So she wandered, sleeping on benches, hiding her tears. When Emily stepped into Daniel's sleek car, she felt out of place, like dirt on polished marble. But Daniel's daughter kept holding her hand, chatting about her favorite cartoon, refusing to let go. That small act of kindness broke something in Emily. For the first time in weeks, she felt seen. The first challenge came almost immediately. Daniel's household staff was not pleased. "Sir, she's a stranger," one of them whispered harshly. "She could be dangerous." Even Daniel's business partner questioned his decision. But Emily didn't lash out, didn't argue. She worked quietly, helping with chores no one asked her to do, folding laundry, tidying corners, and showing gratitude for the smallest kindness. Slowly, the mansion that had once felt like a museum to Daniel began to fill with warmth. His daughter laughed more, sang more, and insisted Emily sit with them at dinner. Yet Emily carried scars invisible to the eye. She struggled with shame, often retreating into herself. One evening, Daniel found her standing by the window, tears streaking her face. "I don't belong here," she whispered. "This is your world, not mine." Daniel stood beside her, silent for a long while before saying, "Home isn't about wealth. It's about people who see you, who care. My daughter already sees you as family. Maybe I should too." The turning point came when Emily, with her quiet intelligence, solved a problem that none of Daniel's high-paid consultants could. His company faced a community project that was failing because they couldn't connect with local families. Emily, who had once taught children at a community center, suggested a simple approach: listening first, building trust, not imposing solutions. Her insight saved the project, and for the first time, Daniel's board members saw her not as a burden but as someone remarkable. But the true test wasn't business. It came one night when Daniel's daughter fell gravely ill with a fever that wouldn't break. Emily stayed up all night, placing cool cloths on her forehead, whispering lullabies, and refusing to leave her side even when Daniel begged her to rest. When morning came and the fever finally broke, Daniel looked at Emily with eyes that softened in a way they hadn't in years. In that moment, he realized she wasn't just someone he helped, she was someone who had healed them both. Over time, Emily found her footing again. With Daniel's support, she returned to her studies, eventually becoming a teacher like she had once dreamed. She didn't just rebuild her life, she became a cornerstone of Daniel's family. His daughter adored her, and Daniel, well, the man who thought his heart had died with his wife discovered it could beat again. And so, what began with a little girl's question, "Daddy, why is she sleeping here?" turned into a story of second chances, love, and the power of compassion. A story that reminds us all that sometimes the smallest voices ask the biggest questions, and sometimes the act of helping someone else saves us too. Friends, if this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because every click, every share, helps us bring more stories that inspire hope, kindness, and the belief that no one is ever truly forgotten. And maybe, just maybe, you